Well, just to make sure it doesn't die mid stroke.
Hey, yo.
Stop being like that.
Everyone at work tells me to stop doing it too. This is what I'm saying. My sense of humor is broken.
You gotta be better than
And
that.
then every time they say some shit, I'm like, hey, yo. And I'm like, Fabian, please. Get
Please.
your butt out of the gutter. And I'm like,
You're
can't,
making
bro.
me
I
uncomfortable.
can't do it, bro.
But that's cool. That's cool. All right, we're back with Idle Talk. Mini, what's up, Fabian? How you
Brought to you by.
Brought to you by Redcon One. Use code IdleTalkPod. Save 20% off any purchase store-wide. Redcon1.com. Code IdleTalkPod saves you 20%. Now that we've got that out of the way, this is POV. You're a hopeless romantic, okay? And it's the story on Hinge's. The person who made the app Hinge, the founder, creator. This is his love story, and it's quite a long TikTok. I'm going to let it play through, Fabian. If you have any questions or concerns, just let me know.
Raise the volume so I can hear it.
I'm going to put it all the way up.
Okay.
It's going to be all the way up. I'm going to hit play. And this is from an account. This person's name is Remy Nicole, and the caption is, "What a story." And a lot of the comments, they're like,
Applauding it?
I don't think this is as nice of a story as you think.
Oh.
But the caption she put on the screen is POV, you're a hopeless romantic. And I don't mean to send any hate or anything her way. I just kind of want you to react to this with me.
Okay.
I listened to it
This is
already.
reason 792 why I will never give up on love. The other day I was watching a podcast of the guy who founded Hinge, and basically he had a childhood sweetheart. They were at school together or uni together. They're in love, but you know, he was young, he was dumb, he was drinking loads, he was partying loads. He wasn't a very good boyfriend. Shit hit the rocks and they broke up. But to him, she was always the one that got away. Anyway, they parted ways. She went off to London for work. He stayed in the US. He's like, shit, let me get my life together. I'm not a kid anymore. So he cuts out the alcohol, he cuts out the drugs, he gets his life back on track. He created Hinge and he was like, I want a partner to share life with. I want to find someone. But in the back of his mind, she was always it for him. But he was like, oh no, she started a new life in London. Let me just leave her alone. But he continues building Hinge, minding his business, leaving her alone. He tries reaching out to her and she's like, you know, I've started a new life in London. Please, like, get lost. So he took it as a sign and he continued working on Hinge. And then years and years later, he ends up having a chit chat with one of his close friends. And he's talking to her, explaining the fact that this girl is the one that got away. She's in London, she's got a new life now, and like, obviously she's moved on. And his friend is like, no, nothing is over until it's over. If you want her, you go and make a grand gesture and you get her back. And this is years have gone past. They've got completely different lives now. So he says, let me just call her out of the blue. And he calls her, he's like, what's up? She's like, life is good. I'm just about to get married. Like, my boyfriend proposed. I'm a fiance. Life is great. And in his gut, he's like, fuck. Like, he just says, you know, it'd be great to see you one last time. It'd be weird to think that we're never going to see each other again. And she's like, oh, I'm not in London at the moment. I'm in Switzerland. And he literally booked his flight to Switzerland immediately. He's like, cool, I'm on my way to Switzerland. Let's just grab a coffee. And he flew to Switzerland to see his childhood sweetheart, who is now engaged. And they went and got a coffee together. And they sat in the coffee shop for 8 hours, just talking. And at the end of the conversation, she says to him, I think I'm going to call off the wedding. Like, I want to be with you. And they live happily ever after. He builds Hinge. He becomes so rich and successful, all inspired by her love and their fairy tale. And that is exactly why I will forever be a hopeless romantic. This is reason 700.
I just want to nitpick at the end. It's not hopeless romantic. It's hopeful romantic. Yeah, guys, you guys are making it sound like you have no hope for romance. I'll nitpick. And my comment, no likes. Don't know how many dislikes it has. It says reason number 1 to be a villain. Because if I was that other guy,
Yep.
and you sat with my
I'm
bitch for
crashing
8
out.
hours,
I'm crashing out.
Switzerland's gonna have to name a law after me by the time that's over. Someone commented, this does not make me feel better about love. It makes me feel like I might find love, get engaged to someone, and they could leave me for their high school sweetheart.
Yup. Literally. That's what it is.
And then to her fiance, Dash, and it's just the emoji of somebody just standing there. So,
Like, fuck me, I guess. Yeah.
that's a villain origin story. The fiance's villain arc will be a strong one.
Damn.
Ended an engagement for recycled ex after an 8-hour convo. LMAO.
You want to know what I think it was?
What was it, Fabian? Let me know.
I'm sorry to break it to you. I think it was the money.
No, he hadn't started Hinge yet.
She said
He was about to. He was like, he started Hinge. It wasn't popular yet. Like it was like he just made an
Probably
app.
was making
Bro
mad
just made
money
an
by
app.
then. No, because he had to have to
I
just
mean,
book a flight to Switzerland.
To be honest with you, bro, I don't think it was the money because she was in fucking Switzerland when she lived in London. She was in
Yeah.
Switzerland with her man.
But I'm saying, like, what would
she
it
was in
take
Switzerland
for-
with her man's.
I know, but what would it take for her to call off the wedding the night before, just because some coffee? It would have had to have been something else other than, oh, I just had a really good time with someone.
Somebody commented, "Babe, he's just a friend. I'll be back in an hour or two. We're gonna catch up. That's all." 8 hours
That's what I'm
later.
saying, bro. This poor fiance. Imagine.
Someone said a woman's love story is a man's horror story.
Yeah. Yikes.
I don't know. This is never. I don't feel like I've ever been the type to, portray myself as a bitter man. But if there was a straw that broke the camel's back, I feel like
That would
is this right here? Is this that would make me a bitter fucking man, bro? Because ain't no way
Yeah, I agree.
that she sat there and romanticized this
Her
whole
future.
thing. No, she just romanticized this story that doesn't even apply to her.
Oh, the lady in the
She
video.
telling the story.
yeah.
She was like, "Oh my god, it's so sweet."
I saw nothing
like
wrong
I'm a
with what
hopeless
this lady did.
romantic. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, my brother just love bombed the shit out of that girl. He's like, "Yeah, I'll go see you right now." Buys a plane, gets there.
Yep, and I think, damn, it worked though.
Did it work? I don't know. I don't.
His
I don't
friend
got.
was right.
I don't get any follow up about if they still together or not. But I hope. I
Oh,
hope to God
I
that
hope they're
those
not.
people are still together.
I hope they're not. Because whoever the husband was previous got shitted on.
He
their
did.
Marriage, their marriage didn't deserve
And then he
to work.
downloaded Raya because he cannot get.
And
on
then he
Hinge.
downloaded Hinge and was like, "Fuck!"
Nah, he got to download Raya. He got to get the exclusive one. Nah, bro. But
know.
as soon as I saw that TikTok, I knew I had to fucking show that to you. And I saw that you didn't like it or repost it. I was like, even perfect. I didn't repost it.
Oh my god!
I didn't
bro.
repost it. I didn't even like it. I just sent it to
Imagine,
myself.
bro. How long were they like engaged for? She said, for years.
Years, apparently. I think so.
Because he
It
tried
had
to
been-
contacting her originally, and she was like,
Shit,
"No,
I'm
I
in
got
London.
a man."
Yeah, I'm in London now. I got a life. Got a man. Now I'm
Right?
engaged.
What the fuck changed in the Switzerland conversation? And she was like, "Yup, I'm gone."
Hold on. Let me sign
You're
into,
right.
Let me sign into my Wells Fargo real quick. Let me just.
I think that's what it was, right?
I'm him.
Look, I got a Hinge. Look, I booked a
I
plane
made
by
Hinge.
the night to come to Switzerland. You
I'm-
could be
I'm
part of that,
here.
baby girl.
Baby girl, it takes 18 hours to get here. I got here in 2.
It's and you can
That's
be
how
part of that,
fast
baby girl.
my
All you gotta
plane
do is
was.
leave your marriage of 8 years. That's all you gotta do. Come be with me. And she was
I
like,
actually don't know if
okay,
it was an 8-year-long marriage.
okay.
It was an 8-hour long conversation, though.
Oh, that's what I'm getting
yeah,
the
yeah.
eight from.
Somebody said this is not a happy story. Someone said, "No, my heart is breaking for the fiance." He's like, "What
Yeah.
in the Bop trilogy is this?"
Bob trilogy is crazy. Yeah, Bob trilogy.
Someone said this is a Hallmark movie for real.
You know what I've come to realize with even it's not just her. I've seen a lot of posts where women romanticize and fantasize about cheating so often. Like if you see the books that these women are reading,
Yeah.
which is usually smut, by the way.
Smut, yeah.
Actually,
Actually,
a lot of storylines in this smut is the character cheating on a significant loved one, or the person that they're cheating on with has a loved one. And I'm like, why is there so much cheating in women's love story that? Because of it, I think that's why women are so much better at cheating than men, and why they're so okay with it. Like, if you ever speak to a girl who has a girl who's also a friend, and they talk to each other about how they cheat on men, they giggle about it. They
Yeah.
laugh about it. Like, ha ha, fuck him, he deserves it.
Actually, there was a conversation that I had with somebody, and I was talking to one of my friends about it. I was like, "Yeah, it feels like they were like kind of like justifying cheating on their husband, and then their husband was like, "Yo, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. Like, yo, fuck you. I'm tired of you." Da, da. And they're like, "Nah, come on, can we work on it? Can we go to counseling?" And then they were kind of like fishing for like, "Hey, back me up." And then the other people that were in the conversation, they were like, "Yeah, you know what?" Somebody was like, a guy was like, "You know what? If he wasn't making you happy, then you got to go out and find your happiness somewhere else." And then she was like, "Yeah, I know, but I feel bad." Da, da, da. And then I, like me, with my only child syndrome, I was like, "Nah, you're just a shitty person." Like,
You are.
I was like, and then they looked at me.
There's no such thing as I went to go find my happiness. If you aren't happy in your relationship, voice that.
But
And
the-
if nothing changes, walk away.
Like the biggest part about finding your happiness with a relationship, right, is like you're not gonna. It's not directly owed to you as soon as you get into this relationship. Like you have to work
Work
on
for
it,
it, yeah.
build it, sustain it, maintain it,
because it's
like
what it is.
like
It's,
love.
it's job.
It's like a fucking.
It's a
car.
job,
It's
yeah,
a
you gotta
car,
work
bro.
on it.
If you don't put the oil in, you're not going anywhere.
Nope.
If you don't put the gas in, you're not going
nowhere.
anywhere.
Nope.
If you don't maintain the fucking little wipers,
The engine.
the engine block, like you
The-
don't
the brakes,
change your
there's so
fucking
much
your
stuff, yeah.
filters, your brakes, your rotors, like your fucking exhaust pipe. You gotta make sure that you're not fucking breathing in your own toxins. Like if you don't maintain all of that shit, which is an annoying thing to do, you gotta.
And that's the problem.
Like
A
I gotta,
relationship is a lot.
I gotta
of work.
take like my fucking car oil change every fucking 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make. They gotta do like a 20-point inspection. Like, oh, that's fucked up. I'm like, oh fuck,
Mm-hmm.
that's fucked up too. Like, isn't nothing's really ever fucked up in my car? But I'm like, but that's how like you have to maintain a relationship. You gotta pretend it's a car. Like you have like the oil is vital to keep you
Exactly.
sustained in that vehicle for a long period of time.
And if you feel like your relationship is straying in any way, voice that, right? Speak to your partner, because
True.
if that person doesn't know, they're none the wiser, right? Because that guy probably was like, "Oh, we're beautiful, we're happily
fucking
married,"
Switzerland.
and all of a sudden she's like, "I want to go see my friend who's a childhood friend," and to him he's probably like, "Yeah, for sure,
yeah, babe,
I
go
trust
ahead.
I trust my wife."
I'm in a healthy relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead, go talk. And then boom, comes back.
She comes home and
She
she's
doesn't
like,
come
"I'm
back.
calling it
She
off."
doesn't go home. She's just like, actually,
Uh-uh.
I'm going with this guy from the United States. of
Like, dude,
America.
if you had a problem with your husband and all of a sudden some other person walks in and now you want to be with this magical person that's gonna fix all your problems, you're a shitty person. And if
Yeah,
you
that's
cheat,
true.
you're a shitty person. You should voice how you
Die.
feel months before or weeks before,
Should die.
and
Die.
walk away. It's better to hurt someone in the moment and walking away than dragging it out and lying to them and cheating on them and doing that other shit. That's way worse. It makes you a shitty person. And if you think selfishly saying that, "Oh, well, I wasn't happy," is the answer
The-
to that,
the
then
response- the
then I'm
response
sorry
that
to
you're
break it to
getting?
you. You're selfish and you deserve to be alone. You don't deserve whoever the fuck that you decided to cheat on with, because then that person is eventually gonna do whatever the fuck you did to them to you, or you might
you
even
gotta
do it
get
to
their
them.
lip back. Or you
Yep.
do it again.
Mhm.
Do you think, Fabian? Man, I kind of want you to apply this to yourself. I don't want you to kind of like use like in general, for like everybody. I don't
Okay.
speak for humanity. Speak for yourself.
Okay.
Is there ever a way for you to get over your spouse cheating on you? Let's say you're married, right? You're like 5-6 years married already. You built this life, whatever you're in, and then they come out and they say, "Hey, I messed up. I cheated on you." They tell you directly.
Is it like
It's sex.
okay,
It's fucking like
full
fuck,
on? Okay.
missionary,
Gotcha.
doggy.
All right,
It's
all
like
right.
it's like
Okay.
upside down
All right,
type
we got
shit
it.
on the balcony.
Okay.
And you live in Minnesota for some reason,
All
so
right.
where the fuck you got a balcony and it's not cold
okay,
outside?
man.
You know? So it's mad exaggerated type shit.
Okay.
So she tells you that she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry."
Did she tell me immediately after it happened, or did she wait?
She'll get. It's like 2 weeks later. It's
Oof,
been eating at her for
that's
2
worse.
weeks.
That's worse.
Is it? Okay, so yeah, that's scenario. Eating at her for 2 weeks, and she finally tells you randomly, like you're like, "All right, I'm gonna head out. Remember, we have to go to this thing later." And she's like, "I cheated on you," like abruptly, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And then, and is there a way to get over that for you? For you,
I mean,
this is your wife. This is not your
yeah.
girlfriend.
Yes,
This-
there is a way, but it takes a lot of work. And if I see that person isn't willing to put in that work, or even, or feel remorse for what they're doing, because you're saying they felt bad enough to say it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now, do you feel bad enough to either, one, validate how I feel now and like go to therapy with me and try to fix whatever the problem is and like work on it, and now you have to earn whatever trust that you broke back. Are you even willing to put in that work? Because it takes a lot.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah, right.
Like
It's
an Everest. You gotta climb out Everest.
I've been on both sides of the spectrum of not being trusted or not trusting my partner, right? Where it's a lot of where are you? What are you doing? And I know from either side that I don't like being the person doing that, and I don't like being the person receiving that. And if that person that I'm with is like, I can't deal with that, then it's never gonna work. Because one, I have anxiety, and the moment you break my trust once, my brain will convince me that you're gonna do it
do it every
always.
single time.
Every
Yeah.
single time, my brain will convince me that it's gonna always
Right.
happen, and I have to fight that.
You're like, remember when?
Exactly. And I have to fight that back and be like, no, this person is changing, they're different, they want to be better. And if my brain convinces me that like, no, this person, like I won't be able to trust you, and if you're not willing to put in that work and go to therapy with me and like work with it, like be like, no, this is what I'm doing, whatever the hell you thought I would, like, it's gonna be annoying. But if they're willing to earn that trust back and love me, yes. But if
Are
it's
you
not
willing
like that,
to
then no.
give that same amount of trust back?
Yeah. If I love that person and that was my wife and that's the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, will I forgive someone cheating on me one time because they're willing to put in and never again? Yes. But if it's a common occurrence and then they're like just saying sorry and then every other week it's happening, absolutely not. After the second time, you'll never see me again.
What if they finally confess to you that they cheated on you, right? But it's been multiple times with that
Gone.
same person.
I'm gone.
But it's been the only
'Cause
person
then
they
no.
cheated on you with.
Gone. It's
But
not.
it's like
then
16 times.
I'm gone. It's not. It's not a mistake anymore. It's not remorseful. It was you were being selfish.
You're like,
And now I can't
They probably
believe-
broke up with you, and now you're
Yeah, and now
gonna
you're
tell
coming
me
and,
before
and,
they
and
tell
now
me.
I don't believe, and that's why when I said how long, it's like if someone does something and then they tell me the next day, then I believe that you felt some type of way enough where it was eating at you and you told me.
Damn.
Right? I believe that.
I think the next day,
Whatever. it
my
may be.
reaction is gonna be way different than my reaction 2 weeks later.
No, I think it's the opposite for me because if you can,
So your
like, let's say
reaction
I
is
live
way
with-
worse,
like-
if they tell you later
yes,
or sooner.
because later. Because if
No.
I'm,
if you tell me sooner,
no,
I'm not thinking logically.
No, I think
I'm
I
not.
think if you wait longer, it's gonna make me spiral. And what I mean by that is that I'm gonna be like, oh, you really sat in bed with me for a whole week and a half, sleeping with me. And let's say like we did something and I didn't know. Now I'm even more angry because I'm like, you had sex with me, you didn't tell me, and now you could have given me something,
True.
right? And now I know you don't give a fuck about me because you don't care about my safety.
My shit, itching.
I could exactly. I
Last
could have
2
gotten
days,
some, and you would have not told me
I
because of
just
whatever
thought,
guilt that
I
you
just
had.
thought I'd get a good shampoo or something, like a good fucking
But
body
if it's
wash.
like day of and she comes home, she's like, I did something horrible. I'm gonna be angry. Trust me, I'm not gonna like be happy about it. I'm gonna be really
be
upset.
happy
But
either.
I can forgive it way more because then I'm like, okay, so obviously whatever she did was actually a mistake or whatever excuses that people use to cheat.
yeah.
It shows to me or proves to me that someone is actually remorseful when they're willing to be like, I fucked up, I did wrong immediately.
Yeah.
Instead of looking you in the face and lying to you for a week and then being like, I feel really bad because I've been lying to you.
Yeah.
Then it's like, no, you didn't really feel bad about what you did. You felt bad because you were sitting here lying to me. And how long would that have gone on? Like, how long would you have had to keep up this lie and not gotten caught in it? Right? Because there's times where people lie to me for a really long time, and then I catch them, and they're like, "Oh fuck!"
You know what's so weird?
And it's like, you could have like easily gotten away with it if you would have just told me the truth.
Yeah.
We would have been angry and then moved on from it. But because you dragged it out and had to lie about it for so long and had to keep up this bullshit lie that eventually I caught you in it, now it looks bad on you because you were just lying for that
Now
long.
you look dumb.
And now I really can't trust you because you was keeping up this bullshit lie for so
Now
long.
you a lying bitch.
Exactly, and that's the problem for me. So if it's longer for me, at least, no.
No, see, I think I there's a lot of things that I would need to do, in order to get over that.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me that, no matter what time period, like if it's the day after or like a week after or a month after, like I think I just need to immediately take myself out of that room because I feel like I have a lot of generational bad habits that like I feel like it's if there's like a trigger or something that I'm just not gonna be me. I'm gonna be my grandpa or my great grandpa who comes from a time period where they used to throw hands on people.
I
And
mean, I
feel
would,
like-
but never my
you know,
my
I know,
wife.
but my great grandparents
They used to put their hands on
they used
their
to put their
wives?
hands on their wives, and that always scares me sometimes because I feel like I don't do that now,
But you feel
but I've
that
never
you-
been in a moment like in time.
But you feel like if you've
where-
ever been, you're scared of the capability of like, I've never been that angry.
Yeah,
But if I
yeah,
ever
yeah,
got
yeah,
that
yeah.
angry, would I be able
Yeah,
to?
So that's why I think some of that stuff is like genetic. Because there's like history, especially in Mexico,
women beaters?
Of women beaters, like that's not like there's a lot more women beaters down there than there are like non-women beaters.
Okay.
And so I think some of that part is really hereditary, like
Yeah.
how that the machismo shit. I feel like that's like passed on for sure in our culture. And so I've never been taken to that point, but I also feel like because I've made the necessary like steps.
Like
in
you
order
said,
to
like
never
I walk
get there.
out
Yeah,
before
like, so
I
I'm
get because I know myself. I don't want to get to there. I'm gonna walk out.
I'll
before
never
want
to put myself in that situation
Mm-hmm.
because unlike, you know, the people in the past that never felt remorse, that
Yeah.
never like apologized for things like that, or never
Yeah.
like asked for forgiveness. Like one of my grandma's brothers on my mom's side, literally only begged for his wife's forgiveness when she was dying. She was literally like on her deathbed, like last couple of breaths, like I'm sorry for everything I did to you. Like he would even beat her with no hands. Like he had no hands. He got into an accident, a farming accident. He had stubs.
Jesus.
Fabian, stubs, literal stubs, and that did not stop him from
That's crazy.
beating her
Nah.
up until probably very recently.
I hope she didn't forgive him.
I hope she didn't forgive him too. I actually this is actually like a moment that I had with her because I never really had a relationship with her. Like I
Yeah.
went there recently, and then it was COVID time, kind of a little bit after, and she was sick, and then I was looking at her. She was in the room with me. Everybody else was doing something, and I told her, I'm like, just let go. I'm like, let go. Like you're holding on for what? I'm like, you're like literally suffering. Your body's shutting down. Like I just that's all I said to her was like, let go, let go. And
I
then
get that, yeah.
A couple days later, she let go, and it was I'm not gonna blame myself for that, but I'm just like, yo, like don't, like what is the life that you're gonna live after
Life
this?
quality, yeah.
Like, oh, you already it was just horrible stories of like because my grandma lives in a town of nothing but old people, and then like they would visit each other like often, right? And like the one lady was like, yeah, I went to visit your brother and his wife, and they were on the floor, just on the floor. How did they get there? Were they dehydrated?
Who
Do they?
knows?
Old people don't like drinking water because they don't want to go to the bathroom because they don't want to pee. Like
Having to
instead-
get up over and over and over to
Yeah,
pee.
so they don't drink water, so they're dehydrated all the time, and they live in Mexico, and
Where it's hot as
It's
hell.
hot as hell in the summer, and there's no shade.
Yeah.
And they're not drinking water, and they got to walk everywhere because it's the countryside, and it's easier to walk places than it is to drive places. And so now you're living a shitty cycle, right? You're not going to the bathroom because you're not drinking water. You're not drinking water because you don't want to go to the bathroom. You're gonna pass out because all the fucking physical
You're
labor you're doing.
dehydrated, yeah.
And it's not even physical labor. You're walking to the store and then coming back dehydrated in the sun,
hot-ass
and you're
sun.
like 80, 90 years old. I'm like,
Sweating.
this is
whatever
not-
hydration in your body, you sweating it out.
Like, and then you drink a Coke.
Yeah, dude, I can't stand that about my mother. Does the same shit, bro. I'm like, Ma, drink water,
I'm like, yo,
and she'll drink 16 sodas before she drink a bottle of
I'm
water.
like, can you drink a Gatorade? Like, you
yeah,
meet me in the
literally.
middle.
I'm like, just drink something.
If you
that
want
isn't-
some sugary shit, can you drink a Gatorade, please,
Bro, it's the worst
so-
with Asian parents. I don't get it. They love soda.
bro?
Did I say
You say Asian parents? I was gonna.
Why
let
did
it
I say
slide.
Asian? I said I meant to say Spanish parents. What the fuck was that, favorite?
But the only reason why I bring that up is because I'm like, yo, just let it go. I'm like the fact that I'm like,
if you ever
you're
get
not gonna
there,
forgive
you want to like, would you let go?
of like if I'm dying.
Like
Yeah.
if you're at a point in your life where like
I'm
the
dying,
life, the
'cause
life
she was on her
quality,
deathbed. I saw her on her deathbed,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I said, let go, let go, let go, let go.
or like you're like, if you fight, you have like a week left, but if you let go, you
No,
pass
I'm
right now.
gonna let go. I'm gonna be dramatic as fuck when I die. I think. I
Okay.
think this is so weird, and I'm gonna just put it out there right now. I feel like I've had the same dream oftentimes of how I die.
It's always
And
the same.
It's always the same.
What
the,
is it?
The people change in it though.
What is it?
I think
How do you go?
so. It's either one of these two things. It's these two dreams, right? It's either I'm really old and I'm surrounded by my family,
That's a good
and
way
then I
to
just
go.
pass away. And
That's
I just,
such a
like,
good way to go.
And then it's inspired by like this like funny like clip that I saw where like this guy's talking and he's like, oh yeah, and then just dies, and he's like, just kidding.
It's a turtle from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, I think so. I think when I saw that, I was like, that's how I want to die. That's how I would die, you know?
Yeah.
And so I've had dreams about like how I would die that way. But there's always been this more like super dramatic version where like I think it was like the first time I kind of got aware, like was made aware of like exterior violence. Like that your life is always just one specific
Yeah,
set
one
of
mistake away from
actions
being
away
gone, yeah.
from being taken away from
From
you.
somebody. Yeah, you're
Or
absolutely
like
right.
taken, like literally taken away from you.
Yeah.
And then I've always had this kind of like inclination of like, it's like I'll either die that way or I'll die like protecting either my mom, my sister.
That's how I wanna go.
I mean, that's how I want to go. But I've
The
seen,
Last Stand is such
it's such a real
dope way of-
thing,
yeah.
right? But it's like it's very vivid too because it's like I can kind of like in my dream like I could just feel myself like dying.
Yeah.
And then I wake up, and then whatever part of me was like injured or something, and I'll just be like sweating or like. So I don't know. I just feel like I have those same two like dreams, but to the point where like they kind of just like feel like prophecies in a way, to where like it's gonna be one or the other. You don't know. You never know when it's gonna happen, but it's also like kind of relaxing. I'm like it's gonna be either. I hope it's one or the other.
Gotta be
I
ready
hope-
for
I
it.
hope. God, I just hope it's just that my time. You know.
Yeah. When it's my time, I'm ready for it.
You know what's crazy? What happened to me the other week was I was walking in the parking lot, and then this car, I looked at this car, and it sped up at me, like sped up, like it was gonna hit me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right,
Do it.
I was like,
That happens to me so
bro,
often.
I just like because there was no other, I can't go back. There's no way.
Yeah, I'm just in the middle of the street.
I'm
now.
in the middle of this parking lot. I'm like, something's gonna happen today.
Either you stop or you hit me, dog.
I was at work. I was like, I went out to grab my water bottle from my car, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna die at work. That's so crazy. And then the car is coming this close to me, Fabian, and then it swerves away. And then my fucking trainer pulls out his head from the car. I was like, bro, what the fuck? I was like, yo, you really had me at peace right now, bro. I was really about to just.
I was ready to go.
I was like,
it's my time.
you know when Obi-Wan just takes a deep breath.
Yeah, before he gets
looks
slashed,
away and then gets slashed. I was like,
I literally had the same thing where, like, you know that one crossroad before my job,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that like where you press the button and you walk. Just
right by the
yeah,
milestone.
you press that button, it flashes. There's a cop stationed there to make sure the car stopped for you. But for one reason, this Audi R8 was like, nope. And he was far as shit. So by the time I was like, dude, really? Like, for real? You see the blink? And he was like, instead of slowing, I was like, I'm going to speed up.
I'm gonna make it.
And it was the same thing where I was like, I was in the middle of the road. I was like, I'm going to die. This is it. And then last second, he's like, "Nyeh," and I was like, why would you do that? You could have just stopped. But it was the same thing where I was like, I'm accepting it. This is how I go.
I literally
I was like, I'm going to go on
fuck.
the way to work. I'm going to die. That's crazy.
I was like, damn. I literally thought in that split second, I'm like, not at work. I closed my eyes too. I was like, bro, but he thought that was hilarious. I was like, in hindsight, I was like, why the fuck would you do that? I'm like, what's wrong with you,
Prank.
bro?
It's a prank, bro.
It's a prank, bro. I was
prank, bro.
so pissed afterwards. I'm like, who the fuck does that?
It's a prank,
I'm like, you
bro.
just
Come
see
on,
me.
man. It's just a prank.
Nah, you know what's so funny? I told the person I was talking to about it, and then they were like, that's not funny. And I was like, you right. That was kind of fucked up.
It is fucked
Oh,
up.
that
but
was
to
fucked
him,
up.
To him, it was funny.
He was dying laughing.
To
He
him,
was
it
like,
was
that
a
was
prank.
the funniest shit he's ever done in his
To him, it
life.
was a prank, yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm about
But
to
to you,
fucking-
you was about to die.
I'm about to
You was
call-
having an existential crisis.
I'm about to call HR, bro. I'm like, you almost hit me with your car? That's crazy. Yo, get out of here, bro. Bro, but I was like, I was really, like, at that moment, I was like, I'm about to die. It's over. It's over. I'm about to die at work with this outfit on. Ugh, I'm like, oh, God.
Well, how do you actually die of old age, though?
It's
Does your
really
heart just
horrible.
stop?
Your organs just stop.
That
working.
seems really painful.
It is painful. It is very painful. That's why I would never want to die of old age.
But you just said you did.
No, I'm
Like,
saying in my
laying
dream.
down.
Yeah. But, you know, that's just because
With
I
your
was
family around you?
romanticizing my death, Fabian.
Oh, but if you had to go, you said those were the two ways you'd go.
Yeah, you know, and that's why I always say I have I want to have a big family because in my dream it's like 20
There's
people.
a lot of people around you.
20 people in there.
That's
So I
cute,
need to
though.
have like 5 kids. And
But
then
I
you
kind of
have,
now
like,
that you
2
explain it, I
each.
don't want to be in excruciating pain around the people I love. Just right before you die, some shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna be thugging it out to the very end, babies. You know what I'm saying? And also, that's
I don't know. I don't.
How do you feel about like? I think we talked about journaling a little bit before.
I do journal.
But I'm like, do you want to leave that behind for your family to
Yes.
read? That's what I want to do too.
Not
I just haven't-
specifically for my family,
No,
but for
I
anybody.
specifically want them to read my shit. How I want to whatever I'm writing in there. I'm obviously shaping in a narrative that I want them to read it in.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that's why I write. I don't
Well-
write it to let my feelings out or.
I
to,
do it to write my feelings out and then to come back
I
and
only
remember
do it.
things.
I only write it out to put my feelings out if it's gonna develop somebody who's reading it. Like if they're like, oh, Grandpa went through that too,
But
or they might be confused because my chicken scratch is crazy.
that's why I type it out on my phone.
Yeah, but then you got
But
you get your shit gets
the
EMP blast.
feeling of writing is so much. You're right.
It
the
is.
feeling
It
of
is
writing
different.
a lot better.
It's therapeutic.
But
for
I'm
sure.
I'm afraid that no one will understand the way I write because I do write like ass.
That's true.
It
too.
looked like I write with my toes. It looked like I put the pen between my toes and I'm like
Nah, it looks like I write with my toes with my left foot. Upside
my
down.
less dominant foot.
Upside down in underwater. Like,
So I don't know.
but that's why I write in my notebook. It's just because I want to leave that shit behind. And also,
I want to read it when I get real old. Be like, damn, I remember
like,
remember
damn,
this.
I was-
Damn, I remember that.
I was a bitch. Yo,
Yeah,
you get cranky. You
there's
get
gonna-
cranky when you
There's
get
a
older.
lot of there's times where I go back and I reread my shit. I'm like, damn, Fabian, you was a bitch.
There's just times of like, oh, you was in love. You was in love. You're like, oh, you'll never love that way again. Make it real. for
Too
myself.
real, dog.
You'll never love anybody on that level ever again. It's gonna take you years to get over this trauma.
Wow.
I'm talking about me, bro. I'm not talking
Wow,
about you. I'm
wow.
talking about me. Damn, you know, sometimes I read the dates on my shit. I'm like, damn, that was recent.
Yeah.
I was like, that was within this decade.
I'll see photos and I'm like, damn.
See, this is what I do. Oh, I'll actually show you. I actually have my camera bag right here. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen,
Like old ass cameras,
this is my camera.
old ass photos.
My moment.
Like I've seen like
Fujifilm?
our photos from like when we went to see Cuddy. I'm like, damn, is that? I forget how long ago that was.
So for me, whenever I either end like a relationship or a period of my time in life, I used to do this on my Instagram where I used to screenshot 3 black photos and then create a line. Like that's okay. Anything after that is a different
like a
time
reset.
period. Yeah. And that I just haven't done that recently. But there's this
Can
thing
you
that
go back and add black photos?
no.
Damn.
No, but I've been doing that. I did something I recently stopped doing. But like, if you scroll through my personal Instagram, you'll just see barriers. Like, you just scroll and see like random black photos. But what I do is I take one of these like USB drives that connect to your phone, and whatever is in my camera roll, I just transfer over to this, and then I just delete the shit in my camera roll. And so if I'm ever feeling a little sentimental,
That's genius.
I just grab. I have like 6 of these. I grab one of these and I'll plug it into my computer.
How much did you buy?
This is like I have no idea actually. This is brand new. I bought this for the podcast that I never used. I think I got it to transfer the footage from the camera to the
It has
iPad
a
to
lightning
my
cable.
phone.
That's sick.
Yeah,
I need me one of these.
I actually don't know what's in this, to be honest with you.
I guess
But
we'll
it was
find
like
out later. It's
200.
porn.
It was like $100 something
his sex
dollars.
tapes.
No, I don't. You know what? That's in my Google Photos for some reason. And I
was joking.
I gotta go back and delete some of those. I don't want
I
that
was
being in there.
joking.
Bro, I was in college. If you want to see
I
me,
have none.
if you want to see me,
You ain't never
messing
gonna see
around.
my dick slang anywhere.
This,
I don't be dick slanging on video.
This mini started on the whole other side
I don't
of the
be
world.
dick slanging on video. Just in person.
Just the person is crazy. But yeah, so I use these. I grab this. I transfer photos. But there was one thing I recently did like a few years ago where like I took my favorite photos of this era of my life and I printed it and I put it in a book,
Or like a little collage
like
book.
a collage book. And I don't know if that's healthy or
That is, yeah.
Because because now I'm thinking about it. I sat one night and I was like, okay, I have that book in storage. I know exactly where it is. But I'm like, what if I get married and my wife finds this book? I'm like, how is she gonna feel about that book?
This is something I've dealt with when it comes to people I'm seeing, and like, you have photos of other people. You need to explain that like you're human. You're a human being.
Like I'm sentimental. Like that's
Same.
off
and,
rip.
and I'm very sentimental too. But I'm also
Like I keep shit.
exactly, and I'm also
don't
a
like throwing
person.
shit away.
I appreciate memories a lot, like a lot. Even if, like, let's say me and you
outcome was shitty.
fall out. Yeah, let's say me and you fall out and we never speak again. I will appreciate every single Idol Talk episode forever, and I'll go back and I'll listen to them, and I'm not gonna get rid of them because it's part of my life, and I'm not gonna erase that just because we went on. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause-
Yeah.
And it's like that for a lot of the people in my past. Like I'm not gonna erase the happy times that I had with this person just because you were a shitty person to me. And
Towards
whenever
the
I,
end.
exactly, and
Towards the end.
whenever I have to explain that to people that are new in my life, like yes, I still have those photos, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm like emotionally
Yeah.
connected to this person or I care about this person. It's
Or I
just because
still care about them in the same way I did in that photo.
It's literally just like, oh, I was happy here. I like the memory of the fact that I was happy here or I was enjoying this thing, and I don't want to delete that because I want to have that when I'm 85 years old and look back and be like,
Yeah,
oh, I remember
yeah,
having
exactly.
a cute date at a pizza shop and I really fuck with this pizza, and at one point I was in love with this person, but I'm not anymore.
and I
And
got a
don't feel
random
anything.
Polaroid of the pizza.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like to you that's a random Polaroid of a pizza, but to me,
There's more sentimental,
flashback.
yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I remember
Exactly.
when that happened. It rained.
And I was with this person and that person, and we did this. So
yeah,
it's
so
the
that's
same way for me.
See, boys are romantic.
So
guys.
when your wife asks, you give them that. You be like, hey, it's as much as you want to make it what it is. It's
I'm
not.
like, give me this shit. This is mine.
It ain't what it is.
This is not for you. This is for old me in the future.
This is for kid me. This is me nourishing my child self.
But I also kind of want to. I also want to leave all that behind too.
Same, because
You know why? Because I want like my great grandchildren or my grandchildren to be like, before he met grandma,
yeah,
there was people in his life
'Cause, dude-
that he cared about, and now they're not there no more, and it didn't mean the world ended for him.
exactly.
That's what I want to leave behind. I'm like, yo, look at all this shit that grandpa went through until he met grandma. That's the purpose, I think, at the end of it. At the end
Family
of the day,
history.
for me, I want to just be like, yo, it took like 19 tries, but we're here.
Eventually,
You're here because if I didn't continue
Fuck up
after
this
those
many
18
times.
times, you know.
if I didn't fuck up this many times.
Hey, don't
yeah.
say I fucked up. I don't want to take accountability for my actions. You're
Oh,
crazy.
my bad,
I
Big
fucked
Pimp.
up.
My bad,
I
Big
fucked
Pimp.
up all 19 times. It's
I
crazy.
don't know. Maybe. I don't
Wow,
know.
be your own people, bro.
I'll
Yo.
say I fucked up all of them. Even if I didn't, I don't give a shit. I'll take the
Oh,
blame.
that's such a man thing to do, is take the blame.
I don't give a shit.
Now we back to this original TikTok.
Damn, we
Women
went on a
need-
tangent.
Women need to be more accountable,
You right.
right?
They do.
I think that's the moral of this episode.
They do got to be more
I
accountable
feel like
for the shitty shit they do.
it's tough
Women
for
are
men
evil sometimes,
to be
bro.
accountable, but I think women just don't know what the word is. And it goes back to I don't want to sound like a bitter man on this, but
Some
I feel
women
like
are evil, bro.
I've gotten really real. You know,
With yourself recently?
Yeah, right now on this episode, I'm like, I'm scared of being triggered in a way to act like my grandparents. I don't want to do that. I don't want to ever do
So
that.
don't put yourself in a
I'm
situation
not.
with somebody who
I'm,
can do that
I'm
shit
not
to you.
favoring. I'm not.
There, I've listened.
Oh, you?
I've been there.
You been there?
No, I've
No,
never.
no,
No, I've never put my hands
you
on.
a boxer.
on-
You got
that's
lethal
why.
weapons on
That's
your shit.
literally why I would never, because like, there would never be a scenario where I would have to raise my hands to anyone who I genuinely don't feel danger for. Right? There never has to be. So I never have. But there has been times where I've gotten to the point of anger that I'm like, I need to walk out, and I feel that where I'm like, I'm really angry and I don't know how I'm gonna react, so I'm gonna leave. Right? And I've been there, because there have been times where like people test you and they poke you and they prod you because they want that type of reaction.
Yeah.
So
I feel
get
like
it.
I feel like I got a lot of the, especially like reflecting on my younger self. It's like, damn, I used to be so angry, like genuinely angry.
Yeah.
But now I just feel myself. I'm like, I don't need.
You're
I
chill
don't.
now?
I don't need to. I don't need to. I'm not nonchalant because I still care about shit. But I don't need. I don't need to ever raise my voice. You know. I don't,
No, sometimes you do.
No, but like.
But it's very rare.
in a hurtful way.
Yeah,
Like
I
'cause
get
before
you.
I used to be spewing out venom. At
Just
people,
always?
at people. Everybody used to
Uh-huh.
catch a stray, and it was this one moment in I think I was in like high school, and then somebody was like, "You know, you made me almost kill myself." I was like, "What the fuck? What did I say?" And they're just like, "No, you just." They didn't elaborate. They just walked away. I was like, "What the fuck?" This was before like mental health.
was
It was
saying
like
some
was it
mean
good? I
shit
was saying
there.
some apparently some crazy ass shit to
So
people.
I've never gotten that ever in my life. No
But
one's ever said
I
that
don't
to
think
me.
I've met you to where I would assume that about you. Like
To
when
be
I met
mean?
you at the point of life where I met you,
Uh-huh.
I don't think I would have ever thought like, oh,
That
you're
I was
a
a mean
mean
person?
guy. You're a mean
I mean, I'm sure I'm not the most perfect human being, and I'm sure there's other people in this world that would be like, Fabian's a dickhead.
I mean, everybody's a dickhead in somebody's story.
That's what I'm saying. So
Like,
I'm sure I'm the villain in some people's stories, but yeah, I've never outright made someone almost want to kill.
You're like somebody almost made me kill myself.
Yeah, for sure. A few times, but never the other way around. At least I don't think so. No one's ever told me if they have.
Nah, and then there was another. We're just gonna cut
You
deep.
go-
real
you just
quick.
gonna fucking
We're gonna
expose yourself?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
expose
keep
myself
going.
real quick. There was one day, I was like in a.
Oh, by the way,
relationship-
happy Men's Mental Health.
happy mental health. This is what we're doing. I
Men's
guess.
Mental Health Month.
I was telling the person I'm talking to now. I don't know how we got into this conversation, but I was like, oh yeah, there was a real pivotal point in my life where I was talking to somebody, very sweet person, like really, really cared about me, and like reflecting on it now, I'm like, wow, I really did not give a shit about this person.
And I really
at
fucked that.
all. And I fucked up this person, like
Probably.
very badly. I know that for sure. And then I was I was about to graduate college, and then for some reason, like me, Malik, and then this other girl used to hang out all the time. Right? She would help us out a lot, tremendously. And then so she was talking one day. She was like, before you graduate college, you should really amend things with people. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's so weird to just say that to somebody. And she's like, yeah, you should reach out to people, like, apologize for things you've done, da 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 da. And then so the first person on that list was that girl I was talking to about just now. Because I remember I was in South Carolina, right? It was like maybe like a few weeks before that conversation. And then she was like, she sent me this big ass paragraph.
The
Like, when
lady?
you, huh?
The
Like,
girl that you
yeah,
were
that I
mean
heard.
to.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She sent me this big ass paragraph, enough to the point you have to click an arrow and then,
And then
see
it
the
keep
whole
going.
thing.
It
Yeah,
became
yeah.
like a note, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So send me one of those, and now I was
I've
like,
got one of those.
I had a Samsung Galaxy S10, so I had an Android. So I know you definitely have to click an arrow, and then a whole new page populated. There was mad shit on there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I looked at her. I didn't look at her, but like, I texted back. I only read the bottom
okay.
piece. I read it back. I only read back the bottom piece, and I was like, because it ended with like, "You're such a piece of shit," and I hate that. That you think about that yourself too. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm just a piece of shit. But I didn't read any of the other shit. Big ass paragraph.
Yeah.
I didn't read any of the other shit. And then he responded back. She was like, it's sad that you think that about yourself. And then I was like, that shit like broke something in my brain. I was like, Like, what do you mean by that? And then that has sat with me for like years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, damn, I gotta be a better person.
Do you still see yourself as a piece of shit?
No, not no more.
Okay.
But after that, I was like, God damn, I am a piece of shit.
Okay.
Actually, I was like, damn, I actually.
So that was the reflection time.
That I had, unfortunately, had to fucking break that person in order for something to break in my brain to be like, you
Damn,
can't
you
be
were
this
the
way.
a-
anymore.
you were the asshole.
I was the asshole. Am I the asshole? You are the asshole.
You were the
WTA.
asshole, my guy. Sorry
know,
to
but
break
I'm-
it to you.
but I'm
hey,
saying-
you're better now.
I'm
You
better
learned.
now, but
You learned.
at the expense of that person. But that was one of the first people I apologized to.
That's
And
good.
That was
Did
a
she
big,
accept your apology?
No, she didn't reply back. She read that shit though. But it is what it is. I can't. It's not. It doesn't.
You know what?
She doesn't owe me.
She doesn't
a
owe
response
you- yeah,
back.
you're right.
She doesn't owe
You're
me
right.
the validation of my apology going through.
You're right.
So I was just, for some reason.
I don't think she wants it anyway. I think, like
she
you
didn't need
said.
it. She probably was like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, she's probably so angry at you.
Yeah.
She's like, fuck off.
But yeah, there was a few people that had to apologize to.
I'm
Randomly.
Trying to I'm trying to think
I
if
was
I
like-
have anybody.
I was like, why would you make me do that? I was like more offended at the point. I was like, why would you do that to me? But then
Anyone
that was
else?
uncomfortable. That was uncomfortable. Well, but not on that level.
Okay.
That's probably the worst shit I did to somebody I was seeing. But I had to go through a whole little list. Check it
Damn.
twice. I don't know. I haven't even talked to that girl ever since. She just changed my life and then disappeared.
It'd be like that.
It really be like that.
It'd be like that, dog.
I was like, once college was done, just never saw her again. She's getting married, happily
Good
engaged
for her. Good for her.
to the man that she was seeing in college.
Isn't it weird now that we're at the age where like everyone around us is getting
Yo,
engaged, having
everybody
kids,
is getting
and I feel like
engaged.
I'm like, oh no, I'm like, what am I doing?
And then you gotta remind yourself, like,
It don't matter.
I'm not them.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I didn't find my person 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking. I'm looking. I'm trying to see where the world takes me.
That's true. I am.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, she's getting engaged. I'm like, yo, my buddies from college are getting engaged.
Good for them, bro.
I'm getting married. They're getting married.
And you know what's crazy? In a few years,
it's gonna be one of us.
no, we might be in
No.
an era where like the divorce era, where a lot of those people who got married are either in divorce or they like stayed forever.
Or they have a kid.
Yeah. It's
2,
we're gonna
3
in a
years
few
down the
yeah
line.
we're gonna be in an era where either a lot of people who got engaged never got married, or a lot of people
Or
who got
still
married
engaged.
are still engaged, or the people who got married are now divorced and hate each other. That's what I'm waiting for. The few years
You
that come
hater.
after, I'm gonna be like, whoa, what happened? Because right now I'm
Yeah,
like
you
I'm
a
like
hater.
I'm like, am I missing out? Should I be getting married right now like everybody else is,
Nah.
or should I wait it out and see how crazy it
Thug
be
it out.
in a few years?
Get out. See what happens. See how it ends. But yeah,
It's like the stock market.
it is.
You gotta,
It's like, hey,
Cautious.
it's going good now.
but you never know. It's toxic out there.
And then all of a sudden, you're Vince McMahon getting kicked out of your company, having to sell all your shares, and everything's going down for you personally. But yeah, bro, that's what I've been thinking about lately.
I'm trying to see if I have anybody that like
That you've ever
top of my
fucked
head that
up?
I've fucked up that bad
That
where I
bad?
feel like I really need to apologize.
Damn, don't make me look bad.
Because
please.
no,
Can you
because
just-
most of the times
can
when
you one up me? Like,
no. The
one
thing
up
is,
me?
I'm not saying I'm not. I'm sure I've done evil shit as a kid or like teenager and shit like that, like you have.
Nah, bro, I was in college. I was graduating college when I
Whatever.
did that.
But
I was kind
the
of
thing is, like,
a
usually,
adult.
usually when I fuck up or I do something wrong, if the person can voice to me and reason with me on what I'm doing is wrong, I will most of the time stand down and be like, "You're right, I was wrong. I apologize." Like, if you can prove to me that I was wrong about something, or that whatever I'm fighting for or arguing with or you about, like, it's like your point doesn't make sense, or your point, you're wrong in this favor, and like you can admit it, I'll be like, yeah. If you can convince me that I'm wrong and that I'm arguing for no reason, I'll be like, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I'm sorry that whatever this argument was and I hurt your feelings, I can apologize. I can be a bigger man. But when it's something that I'm very adamant about, I will fight with you forever about it and I'll be sassy about it and I don't give a shit. And if I don't think I'm wrong and you can't prove
Sassy
me wrong,
man epidemic.
we going to be fighting for a while.
We gonna be sassing each other
Yeah.
out.
Hey, yo.
Why you made it AO?
Because sassing each other out is crazy.
There was nothing wrong with that statement. But how are you now? How are you now, Fabian? How are you? If you were to get into a relationship tomorrow, what
Tomorrow
does
is
what does that
crazy.
look for you?
I don't know.
What does that look like for you?
I just need someone who I trust, someone who understand. Dude, I'm weird. I'm a very weird fucking person. And as much as people like,
Say they like weird. I don't think they're
yeah, they
prepared for the
don't.
Fabian
Yeah,
levels of weird.
that's what
to
I'm
be
saying.
honest.
A lot of women like me because I'm attractive physically, but a lot of people don't understand how fucking weird I am mentally. So
And when you put it that way,
it
it sounds way worse than what it is.
And it is, yeah, true, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not actually a maniac, but there's certain ways of the way I live and the way I do things that certain people don't understand. And if my partner can't understand that, which I've been with a lot of partners that don't, understand the way I work,
Yeah.
and it's very frustrating because when you're with someone like that, you can't communicate how, especially for me, I can't communicate how I feel or how I'm going about things because it's just the way I work.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just don't understand that.
It's tough.
And I get it.
It's tough.
And I know that it's vice versa. I'm always not the best partner because of the way I am and the way I work.
Exactly. It's
So
tough
I just need
'cause
someone I trust, someone who can work with me, someone who can make me laugh, someone who I can just be myself around.
Yeah.
You know,
Unapologetic.
Yeah, like I just want to be me, and I hate when I'm with someone and I need to like hide who I am or like
or stop being a certain way.
yeah, because of like I don't like that you do this because it's embarrassing, and I don't like that you don't do this because it's embarrassing. It's like, dude, I don't want to feel uncomfortable when I'm not. If I'm with you, I need to feel safe around you, and if I don't, at any shape, way, or form, I can't be with you. And
That's facts. That's period.
I'm trying to find that, and when I do, you'll know. You'll meet that person.
I'll meet him.
And the world. Yeah. What about you?
I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm at. You
I
know,
want
sometimes-
to be in love, bro.
Sometimes
like I
I
told
think I'm
Muhammad.
ready. Sometimes I think I'm ready. Oh, you talked about being in love?
Yeah, but you were
I was
knocked out. I
asleep,
told
bro.
Muhammad, he was like, "What about you? What's the future?" And I was like, "I want to be in love. I want to find my partner, but it's hard, like you said.
That is hard.
It's hard." And there's times where, like, dude, I'm adamant. I'm like, I want a wife. I want kids. I want children. And then I realize how shitty the world is and how shitty people treat each other. And I'm like, never mind.
There was a TikTok I saw one day, and it was like, why would I want to be your main man when I'm your number 2 right now, and I know how you're doing, you're number 1.
Exactly.
And I was like, damn.
And it's like that a lot.
It is like that a lot, and I won't lie to you. I've been the number 2.
I've been
even
the number
3
two a lot.
sometimes.
I've been the number 2 a lot.
And I've never thought about it that way.
Oh no, I always have. I've always known, and
Oh,
that's
so
why
you was aware.
I don't.
Not me. I've never.
Like
thought
I said
about
earlier,
it.
I cannot be with someone who is willing to cheat on their boyfriend with me, because then I know you'll do it to me.
Maybe to me. Yeah, if that's
It
how
don't
you do
matter
now. How you
It,
gonna do
it just
me
means
later?
exactly. It just means right now I'm more attracted than whoever you're with, and whatever energy you feel,
Mm-hmm.
you're willing to cheat on that person for me. And if you ever meet someone who you feel more attracted to,
to.
or whatever energy than you do with me, you'll do the same to me that you did to me, or to that
To them,
person.
yeah,
to
with
me.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So to me, when it comes to things like that, I always let it know. Like, if this is just physical, then it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's physical to me. And listen, I'm not, with women at least, like, if you communicate with that with the people at least I've been with, they're usually respectful. Like, it's like, hey, listen, I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me, we're both attractive
Attracted to each
people.
other. Let's do
And if
something.
you want to be that and that's all it is, then whatever. It's
Meantime,
like,
yeah.
respect to you. But when it's like, oh, I'm hiding a boyfriend and I don't want you to know, and it's like, see, and I don't trust you. Like, I'll still fuck with you because I think you're attractive. Because I've done that in the past,
never trust
but
you.
I'll never trust you and I'll never be with
I'll
you.
never make you my girl.
Yeah.
Type shit. Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to the romanticizing cheating.
And women, vice
earlier.
versa, don't get with a man who's willing to cheat on the girl
with
for you.
you.
Because
Yeah.
trust me, he'll do it to you
He'll do
too.
it to you too. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've put myself in any positions recently.
Hmm.
I used to do that all the time. I wouldn't mind being the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
But you get all the perks and none of the fucking complaints. Like,
Really? No.
None of the emotional
I
like,
don't,
shit.
not for me.
No, so you was basically another boyfriend?
Pretty much.
Not me. I was just literally the
A
side
lot of the
person.
women that and by the way, when I say this, it's like years ago, like when I was a slut. I'm not anymore.
was allegedly.
I'm not. Is like women usually look for other men, right? Is when they give you the excuses they're not getting what they want with the person that they're with. So now they're gonna get both, or
They're gonna get everything they want with
because
2 people.
yeah, exactly. Because now that they
Or
have
3
2 people, there's more value to it, right? There's more money involved. Now I can ask money from 2 men, right? And if I'm not getting dick from this guy, I can go ask the second guy or the third guy, and whichever one's the best at it, I can pick which one, and I can go to that one. It's basically it's like goods has become a service for you, and men for them at that point are just goods.
A profit.
And if you are the one that provides the money, she'll like you for that. And if you're the one that provides a good dick, she'll like you for that one.
Damn.
And I'm not saying all women. Some women.
But
Like you said. And I have a lot of female best friends. And I know how trifling y'all are because y'all tell me themselves, bro.
damn, who am I?
Female
gonna,
besties are like they tell you because they don't care, right? You're not attracted to each other. Y'all not trying to fuck. So they'll be honest with you, like, oh, I got 2 dudes, and this is how dirty I do this one and that, and I'll be like, damn.
I'm like, damn, son.
And then, but then you got to take notes because you're like, that's how they do
How
them.
they think.
And then you gotta take
giving me
notes.
free game right
Exactly,
now.
it's free game.
That's crazy, bro. You know, life's just crazy. You just gotta.
But shout out to my future wife if I ever meet you.
Or husband.
We can look back at this video and laugh. Huh? What? What did you say?
I said, or your husband.
I'm not gay. Jesus.
Think about this idea and just follow along with me. I told Malik, I was like, me and you, we should get married.
Okay.
That way, whenever we do find our wives and they want to leave us, they're not legally obligated to anything because I'm already married with Malik.
But why would any woman
I'm not gonna tell
willingly?
them. I'm not gonna tell them.
But then
I'm
what
married.
happens when she's like, when are you gonna propose?
I'm like, I'm gonna propose and we're gonna fake a wedding and we're gonna do.
How
all
do you
this
fake
other
that?
shit. Can you get your ministry license so then I could be like, yeah, Faber's gonna marry us. He's an official minister.
But then you're officially married.
No, yeah, but it doesn't count because I'm already married.
No, there's other ways around it. Like some people are legally married to more people because of religion and stuff.
You just gotta help me out and pretend it's real.
But it's not gonna be. And she'll figure you out.
No, she's not.
She'll figure you out, dog, and you don't get caught.
No, that's Muhammad's attitude, by the way. He's like, you're gonna get caught. I'm like, not if she doesn't look. Like,
You're gonna get
but
caught.
part of my
bro.
plan is that she doesn't look into it.
But she will eventually.
Part of my
like
plan.
maybe you'll slide for a few years.
No, you know what? You know what's
You'll
gonna
slide.
happen.
She won't say nothing. She won't know the difference. But the moment that she starts being like, "Yo, when are we gonna get married? When are we gonna propose?"
Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Faber, and this is my plan actually. Now you've kind of opened something up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start a family trust with my family now,
Okay.
and only direct descendants are gonna be allowed into the trust. So that's gonna be my children,
Children's
any
children.
of my children's children, my sister's children, my brother's children. We're gonna just have a family trust, and that's just gonna be ran
Okay.
by a family accountant.
No
or
marriage
something.
spouses.
No, none. I don't think I would.
Okay.
I think it's just too much drama. I'm like, you keep your things.
So what if you
keep
marry
your
someone who already has kids? Do those kids then are they allowed to use the Nando family trust because they're technically your family now? If they got married, if you married the mom and the mom already had kids, or no, they're not allowed for the Nando family trust because they're not.
That's a great
direct
fucking
descendants like you just
question. I
said.
did not even think about that. On the way I know how family trusts
Or
work,
I guess adoptees. I guess also.
adoptions count more. I think
Okay.
because you went out of your way to adopt them.
Okay.
I think trust that when I bring up family trust, it's a like cutthroat kind of thing. It's like whatever is described, outlined in it is what's going to apply, and I think that's just. I think for anybody who wants to build any kind of generational wealth, it has to start with a family trust. And the things have to be specifically outlined in that in order to protect not only your assets, but
Your future.
your parents' assets, everything that is involved in that family trust needs to be protected. So I think, to answer your question, I would just probably set up something else on the side.
Gotcha.
You know, like
For,
my own money,
your
my own money,
stepkids or
my
whatever?
own kids. Like, yeah, exactly. If it comes down to that, but I think, kind of, you know,
But don't you
opening
think-
up the details is going to endanger everybody's.
But that's
things.
wouldn't you think they'd feel? What's the word? Like.
Excluded, left out.
Yeah.
Not part
Like
of it.
like
not
let's say
actually
they're
officially
a
in
college
there.
kid, right? And they have a sibling. Like let's say you have two siblings, right? Your wife's kids who
Mm-hmm.
came in and then whatever kids you guys had, right?
Uh-huh.
And now they're both going to college and you're getting both of them a car, but one of them buys a nicer car because she got to be in the trust and the
Mm-hmm.
trust has fun money. But the other one got a cheaper car because he could only afford what he or she could afford and then whatever you could help him with. And they're like, that's not fair.
I just feel like
why can't I
feel
get?
like I would just raise my child to be better than that.
Okay. Fair.
And that's just a lot. I'm just gonna bet on my parenting skills.
Okay.
You know,
Let me know in 40 years.
I'm-
30,
we'll
40,
tell you.
30, 40 years.
whenever there's a family beef going on, you're like, you're not in the trust. It's just like, I'm like, bitch. My kids wouldn't even know there's a trust.
Don't let them.
They wouldn't know.
They would
until,
they would have to know
They
eventually.
would know
when
until
they're,
they're older.
Yeah, like
And then
18,
a little bit
19
more
when they're going to
emotional.
college.
You know, you could actually set that rule. Be like, yeah, you won't be able to even touch this till you're 35. So you have to live 35 years of your life.
That's good.
Before you're even able to access what's in there.
Smart.
And
Because
so
young and
that's
dumb.
what I would do. Yeah, hell yeah.
You spend money like an idiot. Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I could die, but you still gotta wait till you're 35. That's just the rules. Like that's the, and I think the only reason why I even brought this up right now, I think 'cause that's something generally what my mom wants to do, because now we're kind of like expanding
Working on that?
a little bit. Like we're doing more things, you know, upping our property value and stuff back home. So it's like now there needs to be kind of legal documentation on who owns what,
Yeah.
who owns what is owned by me, what is owned
By her.
Yeah, you know, like what.
By her mother.
Cause
Her,
we got
that.
little family members coming in here like,
Trying to
oh,
be like,
this
this
is
is
my
mine.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Claiming
I
shit
gave
that
you
isn't theirs.
$14 that one day to fix this.
And
Like,
now
it's
that
part,
means
that's
it's
part of
mine.
me. Yeah. And so it's like,
Like, I'll give you the $14.
Like,
Like, bro,
back
get the
away.
hell out
Get
of
out
here.
of my
Yeah, I
face.
get you.
So now I think it's just nobody gave a shit about our stuff when it was ugly. And now that like recently I had a chance to go there, should I send my mom photos? Because when I was younger, I couldn't send photos because I was like, we didn't have a fucking
smartphone.
iPhone.
Yeah,
we didn't
smartphone.
have like Wi-Fi.
You just had to come home and be like,
shit.
hey, I remember like
This shit was
one
broken.
wall is broken
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this
I'm like
is that.
and she would never believe me because there's no photos.
Yeah.
But now that I was able to be like, yo, this is how this shit looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll call her, I'll FaceTime her, be like, all right, she's like, go buy this, use this, and then fix it, find somebody to fix things, do it myself.
Yeah.
Now everybody's like, hey, that house is kind of nice. I kind of want a piece of that. I want like, hey, this is my room.
Now
okay?
that-
And
now
I'm
that
like, no.
You're fixing it. Everyone wants to
Yeah.
live there and be around.
Yeah, so it's a weird place to be in, especially because that's your own family.
Welcome to Hispanic families,
That's your own
my
family,
guy.
bro. But I just be like, you was talking shit about this house a while ago, and I feel like I don't have grudges. I only have grudges when it comes to my family. I'm like, cause you should know better. Like if any stranger would do something to me, I could just let that go because they don't know better. They don't know me. They just did something to me that might have affected me in X, Y, Z. But you're related to me.
Yeah.
You're part of my family. You're part of this like ecosystem
You
that
sh-
I've
you
got.
should, like,
You
treat me
should,
better,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I'm like there has to be some kind of fundamental difference
Like
between me
as
and
a family
stranger.
member, I wouldn't do that to you. You shouldn't have done that to me.
Yeah, yeah,
I
type
get
shit.
that.
So I just be like, I'm like, that's why I hold the most grudges.
I understand.
But it's hard. It's hard not to hold grudges, especially when they're your family. But yeah, but that's just some things that have been in my brain, my noggin. About you, anything serious in your brain like that? No, you just been chilling. Must be nice.
I'll be chilling, bro.
Must be nice.
I stress about everything every day, bro. If you really want my brain,
Yeah, I want your brain, bro.
You
Come on,
don't.
we're talking
I
about men's
promise,
mental
man.
health, talking about
I
bitches
promise
cheating.
you don't
we're talking
want my
about
brain, dog.
everything, bro.
You don't want to deal with
Talk about
anxiety
your brain
27/7.
for 4 minutes,
27/7.
Fabian. Let's get this to 60 minutes flat. Talk to me about your brain for 4 minutes. Let's
Okay.
see. Yeah, let's let us in to the mind of Fabian. And he's got his dogs out, by the way. I just kind of want to lighten the
I don't
mood.
got- I'm not saying
You
none.
got your dogs out,
I do have my dogs out.
twinkle toes.
How do I start? I don't know. Anxiety. Living with anxiety is like, because you're constantly questioning every part of like your being. It's constantly like, oh, am I doing this correctly? Am I doing that correctly? What am I freaking out about? And then because you're freaking out, your body starts freaking out, and then you have to remind yourself, like, what am I freaking out about? And then it's nothing. It's just your body being fucking anxious to be anxious. It's just dumb shit like that. And like little things, like, let's say me and you have been friends for years, and this one day you didn't say hello to me the way you said hello to me, like, for the last week and a half. I will convince myself that you hate me.
Damn.
Even though it's not true, and I know it's not true, and I have to be like, "Yo, this person doesn't hate you. It's the way they said hello to you." Something so small and insignificant, right? But it will eat away at me.
Slowly or fast?
No, I'm thinking about it constantly, and I start like fidgeting.
After
and,
that, like during
Yeah.
during the time we're hanging out the whole day, you're like, damn, he hates me. He's here right now.
yeah, there's times where it happens. Yeah, or like I said earlier, I'll be standing weird, and I feel like I'm standing weird, and I like start getting very self conscious about it, and I'll start overthinking about how the way I'm standing, and I'm like, oh, I don't like the way I'm standing, and I'll like move around, and I'll shuffle around, and I'll do stuff.
Change my pose.
Yeah, like 16 times, and it's like, I probably wasn't standing weird. I was probably perfectly fine, but my brain convinced me that I was.
Like, stop that.
Yeah.
Stop what? That's it. Stop it.
When you're going, I think the worst is sleeping. It's very hard to sleep when you have anxiety because your brain is always going at 1,000 up, and that's the
and
episode,
the camera
guys.
died. No, we'll just keep going. This will be the audio exclusive
Audio
stuff.
only.
Yeah, so keep going. Jump in.
So sleeping, like with anxiety, your brain is always at 1,000, and usually when you're sleeping, your brain is supposed to like calm down so you can start going to bed. And when you have anxiety, there is no calm down. It's either 0 or 100. Either there's no thoughts or there's a million. And at night, it's hard. So like there's ways around it, right? Anxiety medication, journaling, breathing. There's a bunch of different ways
So
through therapy.
So this person taught me dragon's breath.
Dragon's breath. There's it in through the nose, out through the mouth.
No, so it's like you cover one nostril, you breathe in, right? I'm covering my left nostril, you breathe in. And then you switch, you cover the nostril you took that breath in, you switch, and then you let out the air from the other nostril.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of soothing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did that for a couple
You know what I do?
times. What do you do?
I eat sour candy. Oh. Sour candy or weed. So Because sour candy shocks
what
your...
is sour?
So candy shocks your brain into paying attention to whatever that crazy-ass flavor is on your tongue.
Oh.
So it stops giving you whatever anxious thing that you're feeling, and it immediately starts being like, oh, this candy's mad sour.
Can I be real with you?
Yeah,
Is that why my sister likes sour candy?
maybe. And
Is
then,
that why people like sour candy? It's just
I don't know if that is
Like a
just one of the
correlation?
reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know. There's some people who just like sour candies, bro.
No, that's
Has
actually
nothing
just
to
like
do with anything.
that's like an interesting like.
And then there's
like
weed,
thing.
and weed is just a drug. So,
Can I talk to you about my anxiety real quick?
Sure.
So I had this like little anxious episode on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was just like I could not go to sleep. I was just tossing and turning.
Yep, that
like just fucking like I could not go to sleep, but I could not pinpoint
What it was.
making me anxious. So I was
Yeah.
worried: is it my anxiety? Is it somebody else's anxiety that they're like projecting onto me? Like, am I in somebody's head
That's
right
not
now?
that's not possible.
I don't know, bro.
But it is
The world is crazy.
it is you just overthinking about something. So there was
but
probably
I couldn't pinpoint it. I
yeah.
favored
So there's
for the
there's,
life
so there's
of me.
probably something that like
I
happened
sat
throughout
there.
that week or throughout that month that bothered you, but you never brought it up with
Never
yourself
mentioned it.
or with anybody, and then it just grew and grew and grew to the point
So
where
you
now,
think like I buried it without wanting to bury it?
yes,
'Cause I
you
feel
never
like
brought it up,
I
and
feel like
then
I'd be trying to be like forthcoming with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things, and I try to make sure like I'm like, hey, the way you're treating me right now has nothing to do with anything I did. So if there's anything you got going on, just let me know when that's done, and then
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll spin the block, type shit.
But
But I
like you
never-
said earlier, right? Like it might not even be with people. It might just be your own life. Like,
Mm.
for me, for example, like let's say I go and I'm working and I'm a server, and usually I make like let's say $300 and something a night, and then this night I only made $200. I start.
You making that much a night?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But if I make not enough that I'm like, oh, I can't cover this bill or this bill, I start having anxiety about it. And even though I know that there's nothing I can physically do to change what
Yeah,
happened that day,
That's just how the cookies
it's just
crumble.
exactly right. My mind will just be anxious about it, and there's
It's
nothing
like,
I can
what
do to
didn't
calm
I
it down.
do to get the extra $100 type shit?
No, no, no.
Or like,
So it might be something small that you like you said earlier, like, oh, I'm trying to build family wealth or a family fund,
Mm-hmm, Yeah.
and I have people who are trying to sit here claiming it, and like it's going to be a headache for you in the future,
Yeah.
and you know that they're going to be a problem, so you're being anxious about it because you're like, I'm preparing myself for shit that might happen, and that's what
Yeah.
anxiety is. And if you don't sit there and deal with it, it eats away at you. And it might be that, it might not be that, it might be something else. I don't know. I'm not with you 24/7.
because I try to like go to sleep. I was like, let me just go to sleep, but I just could not, bro.
Yeah, sometimes
Like, I
you
could
just
not
can't,
go to
yeah.
sleep, and then I got like an hour of sleep, and then I went to go work out, and then this is how I coped with it the next day. I just worked out, but I put on some Jesse Reyes songs that I know were like sad,
Yeah.
and then I was just like fucking squatting and crying. Shit was blurry. It was either like maybe I couldn't handle the weight, or I was just sad. You know when you work out to a point you're
Yeah.
like, damn, I can't see shit. It's like it's blurry. Like I exerted
Yeah,
myself.
yeah. I've
And
been
so
there.
now I couldn't differentiate. I'm like, am I crying or I really just pushed myself? Like I couldn't really know, but I was locking myself in, and then like I was so physically exhausted after, like when I was
You fell
showering.
asleep?
No, cause I had to go to work. Like
Uh-huh.
so I just showered at work, and then so I was like so physically exhausted I could not think about anything but the fact that I'm so tired. Like I have to clock out 8 hours later. Like so I just like worked myself until like stop thinking about it. Think about this. So it's like the sour
Yeah.
candy thing.
It's the distracting your brain from what it is. Yeah.
But even to this day,
You don't know what it is?
even to right now, it's like a week later. I
Hey.
didn't know what it was,
It might just be anxiety, dog.
but
I deal with it on a daily level, then sometimes I don't know what the fuck it is.
see, I feel like I'm so weird in the way where like.
And you won't know what it is until you sit down with a psychiatrist and fucking actually want to
So you
get it
said
diagnosed.
how you deal with it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I deal with it Mondays and Tuesdays. Isn't that so weird, favorite?
I
Like
don't
Wednesdays, I'm good. It's like the start of my week is Wednesday.
Maybe it's just that those are the days that you deal with it like that. Those are the hardest days for me because there are days like that for me where I do deal with it every day. Some days are way easier than others. Like today, I'm fine because I'm like busy doing stuff.
As you'll know, tomorrow I'm gonna be going through it.
Same because I won't be with you and I'm not gonna be constantly doing something. It'll be like I'm gonna wake up, probably go to work, come home, and I'm dealing with just myself.
Yeah.
And when it's like that, it's when the thoughts come in and when I'm overthinking about shit that I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
When I'm constantly doing something, like you said, you're busy, you're not
Can't think
focused on
about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, some days are much easier than others.
Nah, Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays leading into Tuesdays is always like the worst days. But it's never every Monday and Tuesday. But I've noticed so far, like maybe the last like 6-7 months or so, I'm like, why am I always like having something going on like a Monday or Tuesday? That's just been the thing that I've just been significantly thinking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's why I say I'm weird, because I feel like I'm very methodical in that way in other aspects. So of course, my anxiety would be methodical in that way. Like, yeah, Monday, Tuesdays for anxiety, and then everything else is for the rest of the week. Kill whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. But I just know that. That's
Well, there
how
is no how it's supposed to be. That's the problem with mental illness, right? Is that everyone experiences it differently. And that's why I can only give you advice on how I deal with it. I can never be like, this is exactly, this is what will fix it.
Yeah,
You do this, you're not going to deal with it. Because I don't
Yeah.
know. Everyone deals with it differently. And not only does everyone deal with it differently, it affects everyone differently, right? The way it affects me is not going to be the same. Like you said, I deal with it every day, and some days are way harder than others. You're like, I only deal with it Monday and Tuesday. But I
It's
can't.
so
but now,
weird
but
to
now,
say
but,
out
but now
loud,
I
you
can't be
know?
like, there's no way you don't suffer from anxiety if you only experience it Monday and Tuesday. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because everyone experiences it differently. And until you sit down with an actual professional that studies this type of shit, and be like, nah, this is probably what it is, or this isn't what it is, and these are ways of coping with it when it does get bad or whatever. Because that's what I had to do. I had to figure. The only way to figure the way you work out is if you sit with yourself and sit with a professional and go to therapy and actually want to work on yourself. Because otherwise, you don't know. Like you said, it is just confusion. You're like, I don't know why I feel the way I feel. I don't know why I am the way I am. And until you sit with yourself to actually figure all that out, you won't. Because I went years without figuring it. I didn't know.
Just crazy shit, huh?
And it might be trauma from years ago that you never dealt with.
On a Monday.
Because there's a lot of shit that I didn't figure about myself until like 2 years ago when I started going to therapy.
Like,
and I was like,
how long ago? Like years
dude,
ago?
there's I don't want to say it here, but I'll tell you like off camera. But
Yeah.
there's stuff that like I locked away and forgot about that I didn't even know would affect me years later. Until I went like,
And then dealt with it.
until it got brought up out of nowhere, and my anxiety started fucking with me, and I was like, "What is this? Like, why am I being this way?"
Yeah.
Until I went to therapy and locked the memory, and be like, "Oh, that's why. That's what it was. I understand why I am this way about this certain subject now."
That's fucking crazy, bro.
And it
is what it is, right?
It's life, man. I can't go back. I can't rewind time and fix whatever traumatic event that happened to fuck with my brain chemistry at that age to be who I am now. I just have to accept who I am.
You just gotta
now.
keep on going, keep on
Exactly.
living life. But yeah, the only reason why I got delved into this is you brought up it was mental health.
It
month,
is mental
so
health month, yes.
Even when the camera stopped rolling, the microphones don't stop. So that's probably like, what are we at right now?
106,
So
107
We've
basically.
got basically like 10 minutes of like bonus content off
Bonus
the
PS voice chat if you want
Yeah.
to listen to
facts.
little tidbits about men's mental health.
We're about to start saying some slurs just to bring it back to normalcy.
I almost said that.
Or you
Hard
about to
ER.
go crazy just now? I just, bro,
I did say it,
bro,
though.
wound up for that. And it sucks that you couldn't see it on camera, but that was, I guess, this week's episode of Idle Talk. This wasn't a
you for
mini
listening.
anymore.
No.
I might drop this first. What do you think? Drop this first, then drop the mini we did last week, and then the Muhammad episode, and then the Star Wars.
No, I
episode.
say we drop.
Do I drop in a chronological order? Or do we just
Yeah.
drop this first?
I say Muhammad's, this, then Star Wars. Because I feel like Star Wars.
Because we did a mini before we hung out with Muhammad. That's still
Did we?
there. Yeah.
Oh, that has to go out first. That's way too old by now.
So I'll do that first. And then-
You know what? Don't listen to me. It's your
I don't
turn.
know. I'm just.
do whatever the fuck you
I
want.
feel like by the time I get to this, it won't be June anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
So maybe I should do this second.
Oh, for men's meth? Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because if it wouldn't make any sense to drop this like on another month. I mean, I guess you could put it in the description like this was filmed on
But
June,
they'll know.
whatever.
We just said
We
June
always-
a
yeah,
billion
we
times.
we do say the date. a
Sometimes
lot.
we even say exact dates. We're like, yo, it's April 14th.
I do sometimes.
And it's like fucking May,
All right, guys. Today's Sunday the 9th on June.
June, and it's like August 1st episode of Idle Talk.
Yep. So
All right, so we will see you guys on the next one. Peace, love, joy, happy men's mental health.
bye.
You know, if you need us, we're here.
Reach
DM us
out.
on Instagram at the Idle Talk page.
Not licensed
we'll-
therapist,
and
but I
we'll-
will hear you out.
We'll listen to you. Whatever you got to do, whatever you got to say. And then just let us know if you want us to reply back. If not, we won't. If you just need to get something
Let us
off
know
your
if you
chest.
want to come on and talk about
you
your,
could just
trauma.
you could just bitch and trauma dump in our DMs, and we will gladly accept it as a form of release for you. And we will see you on the next episode. Peace.
Bye.